The USDA recently released some world meat market numbers, and Derrell, let's talk about some of the major players in those numbers.
Well, when we look at trade of beef on a global scale, you know, the last couple of years, India has actually been the largest beef exporting country in the world. For 2016, they've revised their estimates a little bit, and so they're showing India just about tied with Brazil. Brazil's actually coming back a little bit and maybe a little bit ahead of them, but they're both very large players as we look ahead to 2017.
Now, there was some recent news about exports with Brazil here recently.
As far as the U.S. and Brazil, right, we do have a new agreement that for the first time in a number of years, Brazil can export fresh or frozen beef to the U.S. And so, you know, there's been a lot of talk about that and what really that represents. It's not a major factor in the U.S. In that Brazil has to compete for a minor component of the meat export quota or meat import quota that's available, and so it may simply substitute for some of the cooked product they've been sending here and so on. But it's one more of those changes, one of those dynamics in the global markets that will grow over time.
And one specific area in that is the fresh meat markets, correct?
That's right. That's what this agreement allows is fresh or frozen meat for the first time to come in from Brazil, and it allows us to export potentially some fresh beef to Brazil as well.
And another player in the markets, in the world markets, is China.
You know, probably the most dramatic change going on in global meat markets or global beef markets in particular is China. China was never a player in global markets as either an importer or an exporter until very recently, but in the last 3 or 4 years has increased their imports dramatically. They are the #2 importing country for beef right now, behind the U.S., as U.S. is the largest. But at the pace they're going, if it continues another 2-3 years, China may be the biggest beef importing country in the world.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Is this just the beginning of a larger relationship with China?
Well, in terms of the U.S., we don't currently have official access, right, although recently the Chinese government has announced that they are going to start the process of allowing U.S. fresh meat into China. We don't have that yet. We don't know the details of what will be required for that access. So we really don't know sort of how fast it will come online. But, you know, because of what's going on in China in general, there's quite a bit of potential for the U.S. over time as a result of this.
Okay, thank you much, Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.